5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to the hottest sounds in the mix.
Can we just give those hand claps, please?
Mix.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne. So Dwayne's back in the building. We are at episode number...
It was 42, Whit.
43.
Thank you. 43.
Look.
You right.
Treasure knows 43.
How do I know that? And you don't know that.
I know my 40th was the big one.
3 weeks ago.
Right.
But it's so crazy because we always have this thing where we go
do.
back and
We do.
forth
We
with
do.
what episode we're on. But we're
All
in
right.
the 40s, y'all.
Okay.
So hand claps for us, Cruz, don't you think? You know what I'm
43rd
saying?
episode.
We
in the
had this
building
relationship
tonight.
with Cruz
I
and
wasn't here
Erica
last
for
week.
40-something episodes. We're coming up to our 1-year anniversary where we're going to have a party in the studio. Everybody is welcome. Cruz and E won't mind us and just inviting everybody and their mama to the studio. We can fill this place up with balloons and all that.
That was
So that's
funny,
in
Cruz.
March. I know, he didn't say nothing.
That was funny. That was dope.
Oh, there was a sound effect?
Yeah, you ain't hear it.
No, what did it sound like? Can you do it again?
That was like I think that was like the Flintstones.
No,
or
can you hear it?
something
Can you
like
do it again?
that was like
Oh,
the
well, I ain't
Flintstones,
hear it,
like
so-
when you're running or something like that.
Oh,
That
okay.
was
So
dope.
you're trying to run. All right. So we welcome you to episode number
43.
43.
Episode 43. We are in the building today.
We're in the building. Welcome back, Dwayne.
Yeah, welcome back. I'm back in
Welcome
the
back.
building. Shout out to my bro.
We held it down now.
Yeah. Let's go there first before I shout out my bro. Shout out
Okay.
to y'all for holding it down. You, Wit, Treasure.
Andress.
There we go. I'm sorry.
Andress
Oh,
and
my
Priscilla.
God. Yeah, there we
definitely
go.
called
There
in.
we go. Priscilla held it all the way down. when
She
called in.
did.
Yes,
I
she
She
posted
was
her.
on the line.
She did.
Priscilla, shout out to you. I was trying to call in, but I couldn't get through because you was on the line. But you was dropping jewels. So you know what? I thank you so much
Yeah,
for
she
holding
was,
it
she
down.
was.
You was just dropping it as you always do. So shout out to Priscilla for giving us that good
that was so good.
perspective, great conversation.
Who's in your starting five? I think I posted that at one point.
Yeah, she sure did. She sure
Everybody
did. She
serves a
covered it.
purpose on your team.
That was a word right
That
there.
was a word. That's a word.
Treasure held it down.
Yes, she
right?
did.
Surprisingly, her first time live on a podcast show, challenging herself,
Yes.
stepping out of her comfort zone. She did the damn thing. Excuse my expression, but it is what it is. And Andress, she just gave a special
Did
kinda
some
just like-
research. She
yeah,
did re-
she
she did
came
research.
prepared.
She
came
said, I did
prepared.
research. Let me flip through my phone. Scripture says.
Yeah, she
You know what
did.
I mean?
She
So-
was ready. She was ready.
And you know what? I have to shout out to my girls because the thing is, I called them at the last minute. I called them an hour prior because I knew Dwayne wasn't making it in. He thought he was going to make it in from Philly. I'm trying to tell you, you're
I
not
was
going to make
trying
it,
to.
dude.
I really
Like,
was.
I told you, but
I
he's
swear
definitely
I
trying to
was.
make it.
I was trying to.
But, you know, I called my girls, and that's the dope part about connection. Not even not connection, loyalty. Not even loyalty, just people just being there for you. You know what I'm saying? You know, they say, yeah, we got you. We got your back. You know what I mean? So I wanted them to be here because, you know,
Yeah.
I could have held down the show by myself, but I just wanted my family with me.
Yeah,
so,
that's dope. That's
you know,
dope.
so they came through. So good looking.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love you guys.
Episode 42.
So now
was
we have 40
phenomenal.
yeah, it was
It
dope.
was special. It was dope.
It was special.
It
Something
wasn't
different.
just guests in the building. It was family
It
in
was
the building.
family.
Family held family
Divine
down.
connection.
family.
We stayed the course. Got
Yeah.
the job done.
Yeah. And then we have we have her back. So
Yeah.
Right.
we'll-
I'm back for week number 2.
Yes.
In a row.
2 weeks in a row. Treasure's in the building with us.
Wow.
Treasure
That's
has
huge
been a
for
treasure.
me.
She's been a
and she
gift.
on fire.
Yeah, she's ready. She's
She
ready
ready.
this week.
You're ready.
She
I'm
was a little
telling you, you
nervous
know what,
last
Treasure?
week,
I'm
but
ready.
she's ready this week.
You know what? Once you experience this type of podcast, the relationship, the divine connection between me and my brother,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Not to, you know, it's just it's a dope energy. You know what I mean?
is.
So I'm excited every time that we are here in the building because God gives another opportunity just to serve, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Is to serve. It's
That's-
bigger than us.
And you can
It's
serve
not even about us.
and
Go
you can
ahead.
serve through just a conversation.
Just to a conversation.
You know what I mean? Sometimes, we think that we got to do, and not that we don't have to, and not that some of these other things that are being done are not necessary, because I believe that they are. Being on the front line, you're showing up, some of these things that's going on in the times that we're living in, some of these social issues that's happening, being on the front line for things, right? But sometimes a conversation can just really eliminate a lot of things. And the power of this podcast is that Whit and I just try to have conversation with each other and the people to really try to bring a sense of calm, ease, peace, clarity, power, perspective, whatever you want to call it, to whatever crisis, chaos, challenge that you may be in. So the power of a conversation is life-changing.
Life-changing.
But let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Like
and it makes you think about a different perspective, a different lens to it.
Yeah.
So, that's it. So we're going to get into it. So we just want to say thank you for everyone for supporting us on this podcast and supporting our book, our first book, Meeting the Authentic You, which was published about 2 years ago. We're in 2019. It was published in 2017. Am I right? 2017. So thank you so much for journeying with us on our first project as a team, as a collective. And it's still available. So you can go on barnesandnobles.com, Outskirts Press.
Yeah.
Wherever books are sold, you can definitely journey with us through Meeting the Authentic You. Inspirational messages to help you meet you. We definitely go deep in and transparent with the things that we have been through. And it's basically a testimony to help someone heal, to help someone to see themselves in a different light. Yeah. See things from a different perspective. So it's dope.
And we understand how important it is that you have to be authentic. You got to be your authentic self, right?
Do you.
It's too many, and we're not being critical and judgmental, but we got to state the truth, right? The truth is there's too many clowns out here, right?
Copycats.
Clowns, clones, whatever you want to call them, right? People trying to be somebody other than themselves. So this particular book that we put together with some amazing inspirational, meditational things that you can see yourself in with some of these conversations that Whit and I decided to really reveal and share and expose about ourselves, experiences that we had, of just things that we want to give off to the people. We want to encourage you guys to start to really become more authentic, be more transparent, more real, be more you, right? I heard a sermon 2 weeks ago where the pastor talked about, and let me give him his credit, Pastor Mike, 1 Corinthians Baptist Church. He talked about how God needs you. And people was like, well, do God really need me? And I love how he presented it, because what he said was, yes, he needs you to be you. He don't need you to be somebody other than yourself. And that really, my spirit just was like, wow, I really, really appreciated that perspective.
It's dope because God said, like, he created you. He created you. You're uniquely designed. Yeah. Like, you have things that somebody doesn't have. Yeah. So that's his creation. And I feel like if you're not you, your authentic self, you basically slapping God in the face saying you created some garbage, God.
I don't want to be somebody I'm not.
And God's like, I need you because I created you and I know I had a plan for you. Yeah. So you need to be in a place where you are authentic and you can be who, God has created. Yeah. Like, I don't want to slap God in the face, man. Yeah. He knows all and he is all.
So go get that book.
Yes, go get that book. And that's what we talk about, meeting yourself in the mirror and really finding out who you really are. Because once you know who you really are, you start to...
Go ahead, go.
You transform and you don't take no crap. You know what I'm saying? You walk in a different type of walk. You strutting down that runway. You knocking down those doors. It's like nobody can really tell you anything because you know who you are in God. And at the same time is that you're not going to settle for just the okie doke. You're not going to just settle for people just coming around being attached to you because to get what they want to get from you. No, they got to deposit stuff into you. So you're going to be able to recognize that. You know what I'm saying? So if people don't know who you are, and they walk away, it's because they don't know who you are.
That's been a reoccurring conversation and perspective that you.
So, we about to go, but I know
she. We gonna preach that. Keep going.
Okay. Keep going. That was it.
Let's
anyway, so let me get back down to my my calm self. Because I have different facets of me, right?
Yes, you do.
I got different elements of me because God made different parts of me. I know when to code switch, right? So I'm going to code switch it. And I'm going to switch it to what's been so powerful. And I know we usually we talk about this a little bit later in our little announcements.
Right.
February month of favor. I just have to bring that up real quick.
Man. Wow.
I'm just going right into that.
That's fine. It's appropriate.
Prayer call for the 28 days of February has been transformative.
Yeah.
What you would say?
Yeah.
we started with the 31 days of prayer for January. God put that in my spirit. And let me tell you how it went, how we got into February,
Give it
right?
to him, Whit.
So God put January 31 days into my spirit. And I told Dwayne about this in December. And he said, let's go. When you connected to people and connected for purpose and know what it, and you trust them with your heart, you trust them with their being, you're just going to say, all right, let's do it, right? So that's what Dwayne said. So we went through this 31 days of prayer starting in January for the month of, for the year of 2019. And it has been very transformative. So Dwayne comes and says, you know what? Yo, the Holy Spirit's been talking to me. God's been talking to me. He's talking about we need to go 28 more days for February.
Yeah.
I said, what?
Yeah.
First of all, go back and have a conversation with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And make sure he's telling you that because, getting up, we prepare. We read. We are in prayer for these calls every single morning because we lead them. And I said, go back to God and ask him about this 28 days of prayer. And thank God he said yes and he was obedient because now we're in 28 days of favor. Right?
And can I add this real quick, Whit?
Yeah, no, you got to take over though.
There's people who have joined us in the month of February who wasn't with us in the month of January.
I know. It's a good thing.
Right?
I'm one of them.
A church is one of them.
Look, we got a witness right here in the building, right?
Yes.
So like I'm grateful that I was able to. And here's what we're going to also get into in tonight's conversation, right? In terms of levels, right? We're going to talk about levels and connections and learning how to live on those levels, even though you get hit for being on those levels, because everybody doesn't understand why you are on those levels or even know how to be in relationship with you while you're on those levels, right? So I'm grateful to be on the level that God has grown me to be on because I was able to hear God say what he said. And if I wasn't connected to the right people, if I wasn't on that level, if I wasn't in connection with God spiritually, I wouldn't have been able to hear what I believe God told me. And as a result, we got new people calling into this call and people are dealing with some very, very challenging, very, very challenging circumstances.
It's serious.
Right? Where we living in a time where the things that get attention are things that are negative or it's about a couple dollars. Very few things that are positive, very spiritual, very life-changing, transformative, giving people strength in order to live this life. That doesn't get saluted. It doesn't get highlighted. It doesn't make the news. So these conversations become very, very powerful and profound because had we not listened in December rather, before January came and then going into 2019, people wouldn't have had a place to come to in order for them to really be able to verbalize some of these things that's been going on in their lives. And as a result, people are able to handle what's been going on a whole lot better and a lot but differently than how they've been handling these situations. So I just wanted to insert that we have new people who've been calling in February who probably knew or didn't know about it in January or the 6 years prior to January and February.
Because we've been doing it.
Because we've been on the line every Monday morning. We've been getting up doing
6 years.
Right?
And I just wanted to say is that that's why we talk about connection so much because the fact that I wasn't trying to control anything. You're not trying to control this thing, right? The thing is that we're both obedient, and we know our connection with God. So if you say, God spoke to me for 28 more days, I know your connection with God, and I trust your relationship with God, so I'm going to rock with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people try to control stuff.
That's good.
And want to put their hands on it and say, I want to do it this way. I don't trust you doing it that way. No, let's do it this way. Oh, they want to insert how they want to do it.
That's good, Rick.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
But at the same time, that's why divine connections are so important because I'm able to relinquish the control because of where you're trying to go. So I say, you know what? Let's rock.
And vice versa.
You know what I'm saying?
And vice
so
versa.
That's the connection.
And vice versa.
When you're able to relinquish,
Go.
when you're able to relinquish that control, because I trust you and trust your relationship with God.
And the feeling is mutual, man. The feeling is mutual because, I don't mind being, right? And I don't know if this is a term that a man or men use, but I don't mind being submissive to that power and that anointing that God has on your life, right? So when you come to me and you say what God told you, my job is to be submissive and be a participant, right? Whatever it is that you need me to do in order to get that job done. because I know that we're connected, right? So that's what's been happening with us for the month of January and February.
And we're only saying this because we want people to recognize it to help them go to the next level in their lives. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. Good.
You got to be able to trust somebody, right? And trust the connection to be able to relinquish control at times where they have the vision, because that can take you to a next level too. So the only reason why we are referencing ourselves is to give you some context to divine connections, divine relationships, divine, just everything that's divine to help you relinquish that control. So February, the month of favor, we go in every single morning attacking this month with prayer.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock a.m. The flyer is up on the screen. The flyer's on our social media handles.
Yeah, get that.
My social media handle is I am Whitney D. Smith on Instagram, Whitney D. Smith on Facebook. What's your social media handles?
The D Graham Movie, D Graham _movie on Instagram. And Mr. Graham is God's child, because there's a movie. Yes. I want you guys to get this movie. It's not a movie where I'm making it about me. About me. It's a movie where God is moving through me, and I need you to get this movie. It's a great movie. It's been highs and lows, but we get into the good part, the great part of the movie. And you want to make sure, not that you following, but that you vibing, that you transforming. I know social media calls it followers. It don't call it leaders. I wish that it would be something where it would say leaders. That'd be super dope. Or even servant leaders, right? So only certain people could really be certain servant leaders on this thing right here, right? But they got followers. But I'm not looking for followers. I'm looking for people who's willing to vibe with me, share this energy with me, transform with me, grow with me, heal with us, rather. Let me get my language together. Heal with us, transform with us, and really begin to fulfill purpose and not continue to be on the enemy's side where you participating in the demonics and you are initiating that pain that got people not even believing in God.
That's dope. Treasure, can you just, say a little bit your experience, because, we're best friends, right? Who doesn't know that? I'm always posting you on my page, right?
Well, the world don't know
the world don't know that. Well, I won't tell the world today. This is my best friend for over 20 years, right? And we have been doing this prayer calls for 6 years, right? Treasure's been in and out, prayer call. And I'm not, we no judgment. What I want to do is that, can you tell them your experience about the prayer call for the month of February, since you've been on consistently for the first day of February? Just tell them the whole interaction, because we have conversations on our prayer calls. It's not just Dwayne and I just praying. We have the prayer calls, our warriors, and we're gonna give you a shout out in a minute. Okay, all right. But we have them. We got them. But just tell them, because it's not just your average prayer call. It's a conversation, and then we go into prayer. So can you just tell them about the experience that you had since February 1st, since you've been on this prayer call for 14 days, so they can have some context to it?
Well, first I want to say that you and I were on a prayer call probably about
we had a best friends prayer call.
Yeah, about 10 years ago. I was living in Atlanta. The prayer call, I think, was around the same time, around 7 o'clock. It was like
7:15 or something.
And I was always on my way to work, because my commute at the time was about an hour. Yeah. So that experience was great. We all prayed and put on our input. So I have to say that this is my second experience of a prayer call. Yeah. And this experience has been mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I cry many times on the prayer call. I never know what to expect. We always have a spirit check of what our spirit is feeling like at the moment when we wake up. And first I want to say, I'm really not a morning person. That's like huge. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be to work until 10. I am a bit of a procrastinator. I get up at the last minute. Most times I used to be the person that was always rushing to work, but this prayer call has taught me discipline first and foremost. I get up. The first couple of days I did it, I got back into bed and went back to sleep. But now I get up and I stay up, and I'm like, I'm on a mission. The testimonies have been just really such a blessing in my life. You know what I mean? Like, we all have our struggles, and we all are going through something at some point in our lives. And it's just really speaking to where God is really trying to take me. So it's blessing me in every facet of my life.
And I know it is because I see it in you. And I want to really shout out to our prayer call warriors who say their name. We have a lot of people who call in consistently for the 31 days of January, but now for the 14 days, because we do get the numbers. And it's not about the numbers, but the fact that everybody wants to seek God and just needs something more, and they know that their situation, they know it's something more to where they are, right? But I have to shout out to those who have spoken into our prayer call, because the prayer call is interactive. You know, we have our testimonies. We have the spirit check, which allows everybody to speak their testimony. And then they also not just speak their testimony, they give some type of advice or input or motivation. You right?
Sure.
So it's just not Dwayne and I leading the prayer calls. I mean, at one point, the spirit check and those testimonies led the prayer call, remember? So I want to shout out to Tiff in Florida. We love you, Tiff. You take the notes. Tiff, we love you, Tiff. Shout out to Kia. Always that high energy. Shout out to Deb. We know you still out there, Deb. Shout out to Vaniqua. Yeah, Antoinette. Yeah, Mo. Who else? We forget. Jennifer, Joy, Felicia. Who else?
Yeah. Keep going. We got some new people.
We got some new people. Michelle,
shout out
LaShawn.
Yeah, there you go.
Claudette.
Yeah, go ahead.
Claudette.
Dewan.
Faith.
Yeah, there you go.
Her superhero name.
There you go.
Faith, right? Her spiritual name.
There you go. But that's
Who
appropriate.
else?
It's appropriate.
Dewan.
Yeah, we said him.
Right? We said him?
Yeah, I did.
Shout out to y'all, because y'all keep us going on this prayer call for 28 days of favor.
Yeah, yes, I do.
Because at times, I'm going to tell y'all, you know, I'm rushing to work, trying to get to work in enough time to get on this, to do the prayer call, whatever the case is, and asking God and seeking God. God, I need a word. I know we do the same thing. Like, you know, it's helped me with consistency and being persistent. It helped me be disciplined, right? And I'm, you know, getting into my word even deeper, you know? So it's dope. I didn't want to take the entire time of talking about the prayer call, but I think it's very important for this time, this day and age. Because 2019 looks like, for some people, 2018.
And 17, 16,
and
15,
17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 2019. Nothing has changed.
It is the same.
So this prayer call is not your average prayer call. So when you get on it, you like, wait a minute. They ain't just praying.
What are they doing?
What are they doing here? They talk. They sound like regular. I don't even know what that regular is, but you know what I mean?
Regular
it's
meaning
not,
where
it's
you
not
can
your
relate,
average
you can
prayer
identify,
call.
you can connect. Regular in that sense. That's how we're going to define regular.
Okay.
You can identify, you can connect, you have a voice, you have a say-so. You're not waiting to hear something and hoping that it connects with you and it doesn't, so then you hang up the phone because you felt like what you just, you know, got up early in the morning for didn't connect with you. No, we're giving you an opportunity to speak. And in this day and age where there's so much in this social media era, so much, as I say all the time, so much content that's going out where, you know, you can get lost in it. You can be entertained by it, and then you don't know who you are. You don't know how to handle what you're going through, and you don't even know how to be guided on how to deal with whatever it is that's also going to come in while you're going through what you're going through and what you've already been through. So we try our best and do our best, rather. That's more appropriate. We do our best to provide a space for people to come to. And have conversation and then be prayed for and then give you an opportunity. You're not just sitting over here with us if you decide to come over here and give us a shot. If you give us a chance, if you allow us to pray with you and pray for you and talk to you and allow you to talk to us, not talk at you, you get an opportunity to have some great perspective. You will, I guarantee, you will walk away and say, wow, you know what? I need to do that again. Not because it made you feel good, but because it gave you a perspective to deal with what you have not known how to deal with. So that's our prayer call. For the rest of the month of February, make sure you call in. We are approaching 9 o'clock, and I cannot go into this show without getting into. Tell them about this conference with the 4th annual Go Get It. Tell them.
Conference. 4th annual Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference.
Tell them.
Just to let you guys know, it's November 16th, 2019. Last year we sold out. This year, same as last year, we're looking for transformational speakers speakers that can give the tools, speakers that can tell their stories authentically, transformational speakers.
There you go. Take
who
your time.
can give life to my audience, and also vendors. November 16th, 2019 at the Watson Hotel. It's on 57th Street. We're doing it in Midtown this year. So just big up. It's called Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference.
What's the theme, Whit?
The theme is Break Through.
Tell them the theme again,
I
Whit.
just want to say it, slow down. It's Break
Yeah.
Through.
There we go.
And
There
the
we
reason
go.
why I have that, not just breakthrough, no, you need to break through.
There we go.
You know, it's
There's a hyphen in the
intentional.
middle. There's
It's
a hyphen in the middle. There we go.
And I'm not going to explain all of that now. You need to be at the conference and be there. But just think about it. We're breaking through.
Yeah.
What are you breaking through?
Yeah.
You know, what are you breaking through?
Yeah.
What are you going to continuously break through? When the enemy tries to stop you, what are you going to break through? It's
Yes.
breaking through. I'm breaking through. Sometimes I got to be broken to break through,
Yes.
right? Sometimes I can be challenged to break through. Sometimes I just got to break through obstacles. Break through is just so many elements at this conference, this theme. I got to break through. Sometimes God got to break me so I can break through. All right?
And if
Oh,
and,
God,
and,
I'm not going to preach.
no, and if that language is
Okay, he provides the layman's terms.
is problematic, right? If that language is problematic, then what God has to do with all of us is he has to rebuild us. We have to be rebuilt. So if you don't like broken because you feel like you already are and you don't feel like you can handle anything
go.
else, what you want to understand going into this 2019, hopefully you get your tickets and you're at this conference. But if you're not at the conference, we still have other things that God has given us
We
to
do.
try to meet you where you are and help you transition and break through, right? That you can get the Don't Drop Out on You book from us. You can come and get this prayer call every morning.
Yes.
You can go to the Don't Drop Out on You conference that we will
Well-
be having. Well, really, that's for children.
No,
But well,
no, it's not going to just be. We're doing. No, don't just say
okay.
for
Well,
children.
we ain't got to give it to them right
Okay.
now. All right,
No,
all right,
but Drop Out on You, we're having a conference. It's the
Yeah.
third weekend in May. All right. So our book is we're targeting this conference for our young people, middle school and high school students, but we are going to also have seminars for parents.
There we go.
Don't drop out on you. Okay, so we're gearing. This is for our youth, and just keep the date. The weekend of May.
There we go. The
Third
third
weekend of
weekend.
May.
There
The
we
third
go.
weekend of
The third
May.
weekend of May. That's a Saturday,
Okay,
ladies
I
and
want to
gentlemen.
get into conversation.
But
You
we're
wanna
going to get
tell them
into
about
it.
the vibe with me.
Yeah, real quickly. Okay,
Everybody
I'll do
finish.
that, right? Shout out to all of my people who's been rocking and vibing with. No, I don't want to go there first. I want to wait.
We
I
don't
want
know.
Treasure to tell people about what she's doing. Then I'll go. with the
Okay,
vibe
yeah,
with
because
me.
she's not just my best friend.
I want Treasure to tell
She does
everybody
have
what she has
things
going on.
Because I'm connected with people who are doing things.
Yeah, there we go. Let the
Yeah,
people
that's
know
all
what
right.
you're doing. Let the people know what you're
Yeah.
doing, Treasure. Let them know who you are and what you're doing.
Well, I was here last week and I talked about my hairline, but what I did not say was the name of my company. My company's name is Trey Panache Collection. It is a
Say the name again, please.
Trey
What
Panache
does it stand for?
Say one more
Collection.
time, please.
Trey Panache
Trey Panache.
Collection.
Not Nicki Minaj. Trey Panache.
Trey Panache.
There we go.
It's a premium hair collection.
Premium.
And it is
It's
the
dope.
top quality. You want some good hair. You want some hair that
I can't wait to
you
get my
can
hair done on
color.
Sunday after church.
You can color multiple times, reuse for up to a year. Some of my clients use it for a year to 2 years.
Here we go.
It's a good quality. I make
Great
wigs.
quality.
I make wigs. And again, I'm trying to get to the level that I make wigs for cancer patients.
There you
I
go.
have made some for them.
We are at the level already that you make it.
And it's
gotta put it in
going
your
to grow.
hands.
It's going to grow, and
That's
I'm
all.
excited to see where God is going to take my company. But I have an awesome product.
There we go.
So-
There
It
we
is
go.
dope.
There we go.
I have, and I'm just saying this. I can't wait to get my hair done on Sunday after church. But there's many.
Who does your hair with?
Trey does. Treasure right here.
There you
but
go.
there's many hairstyles. I always change my hair. And when I have my weaves, my wigs, and all that stuff, because I like to change it up, that's Treasure. I only go to the one. She's like the specialist all
There you
down.
go.
She don't make them. She don't just make them, but she does other things. She implements. She goes to work on your head. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
There you go. So we wanted to let you guys know who's on the show with us today, what she does, one of the things that she does, rather, because she's a woman of many gifts. That is not her only gift. That is one of the gifts that she's the most passionate about. It's one of the things that she's pursuing at this time.
Right.
And we definitely hope that you guys support. Give them your social media handles, please, Treasure, so they know where to follow you at. If anybody who will listen to this show wants to actually be blessed by your gift, give them your social media handles so they know where to find you at.
Trey_Panache, PANACHE_collection.
There we go.
TreyPanache.com.
There we go. There it is. So there it is. The Go Get It Conference. We got Trey Panache. We got her in the building. And I just want to give a brief, quick shout out to all of my Vibe With Me people who get up in the morning time and rock with me. I had somebody before I started the show reach out to me and say, yo, what's going on with the Vibe With Me movement? I ain't seen you this week. And I said, you know what? This week I'm taking a break. Because this week made 18 months.
I know. I saw the post.
It made
that you put
18 months that I got up every day for 18 months, and I gave people what I believe God put in me to give people. I gave people prayer. I gave people worship. I gave people inspiration. I gave people pain. I gave you me for 18 months straight every day.
Damn.
So this week rather, is the week that I'm resting, I'm refueling, I'm reflecting, I'm preserving energy, because I know that this release that I'm believing God for is going to be bigger and greater than anything and everything else that I've ever experienced in my life. So what I want to do is I want to shout out to the Army, the Vibe With Me Army, who loves and rocks with me every morning. Shout out, as I always say, because they still there and they still get up every morning making sure that they letting me know that they still rocking with me. My people in Africa, my people in Holland, my people in London, my people in Canada, my people all across the country, North Carolina, South Carolina, Philly, Baltimore, Chicago, LA, wherever you, every different place where you let me know, yo, D-Gram, I rocks with you. Keep that energy going. You help me. You save me. God is using you. Whatever you may have said, because the 1 minute video changed and touched your life. 1 minute. So I thank God for the Vibe With Me Army. We're going to continue to keep this thing going. I'm just resting and refueling. I will be back by the grace of God next week, giving you guys more power, more energy, more vibe to help you stay connected to God, which is the most important and best thing you could ever do. Now, we're going to get into the topic of conversation. Let's get into the topic of conversation tonight. Tonight, we are having a conversation about levels. We are having a conversation tonight about being misunderstood. We are having a conversation tonight about not being supported. And let me just be transparent with y'all. What inspired this topic of conversation was the conversation that Steve Harvey had, and we don't like mentioning names. We don't like being critical or judgmental of anybody on this show. A lot of people have shows and they use their platform to talk down about people because they don't agree, they don't share the same values. That's not what we do over here. So this may be the first time that we are having a show and a conversation where we are actually mentioning the names of those who have created a dialogue. That's what we want to do. We want to have a dialogue where we hopefully not can choose a side or condemn, but to just raise awareness and raise perspective where we can stop coming at one another and making one another feel better about ourselves because we're putting someone else down. That's what we're trying to grow out of and try to experience some level of community in a time where hate seems to be winning more than love. In a time where hate seems to be winning more than love. And we're not on the side of hate. We're definitely on the side of love, especially on this love day.
Yeah, we can do our spirit check.
Oh, the spirit check. We could do that. My spirit at this present time right now, I feel, as my man Plies would say, I feel lovely.
Oh, I was going to say I feel loved.
Okay. You feel loved. I feel lovely. What's up, Treasure? How you
love.
feeling?
I'm just feeling so dope.
I just feel beautiful.
There we go.
There it is.
Day.
Beautiful, loved, and lovely. There it is.
It just makes sense. Like, I just feel love. Like,
okay, there it is.
So
Let's get into it. It's 9:10. Let's get into it.
All right, so Yeah, start it off, dude.
So what we and I was talking about was how the conversation flowed between
Yes,
Steve Harvey and Monique on the Steve Harvey show, right? And a lot of people are killing Steve right now, calling him a coon, or Uncle Tom,
Sell out.
sell out. They're giving him all kind of terms and labels and titles and all
Right.
that, or whatever the case may be. For those who are on the level that they're on, who may not be on another level, no level is greater. Let's establish that first. No level is greater. You're on the level that you're
Say it.
able to handle and comprehend.
Say
Say
it.
something?
Go.
And that's the thing, how the judgment really comes in. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That we're always judging somebody based off of the level they're on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's so much judgment. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you said that you know what, you're on the level you're on, and that's where you are, and there shouldn't be no judgment zone, because it takes steps to get to those levels, right? Go ahead. Continue.
No,
I
that's
just wanted
fine.
to say
I think
that.
that's great. And I think if
I'm
we could raise a question to the conversation with the little bit of time that we have, right? Because I would love to have an hour or two with this conversation, because I think that it's so full. It's so loaded, rather. I think that's more appropriate. And I think that
loaded.
there's so much that we can take from this, opposed to giving perspective to be right versus giving perspective to be, just to create the dialogue and to grow us all, right? So in this topic of conversation, or rather the conversation that they had, was one where Monique felt like she was right with her standing up for herself, speaking up for herself, and her key word was integrity, right? That's her key word, integrity, right? That I felt like I needed to express how I felt about these things that's going on, and I don't feel like I said anything wrong. The key word in that is said. I don't feel like I said anything wrong. So Steve's rebuttal to that, to the stance that she took, is, well, you went about it wrong. He didn't say that she was wrong. He said that he agreed with her. He agreed with her feeling how she felt.
And her stance.
He agreed.
Yes.
He agreed by saying you didn't do anything wrong. But what he's challenging her on is, I don't agree with how you went about it.
How you moved about it.
So then he goes a step further by saying, we're playing a money game. Here's where he gets in hot water with people. Here's the key language: who are not on Steve's level. Not that Steve's level is higher or greater or better than anybody's level, but it's the level that he is on, which now has him, for those who are not on that level, who agree, who understand, who support, who feel him, rock with him, whatever you want to call it. They now depict him as a coon, or Uncle Tom, and things of that nature, because they don't understand. It's clear that they don't agree, but they don't understand. But go ahead.
Right. No, because when we're talking about that, how do you communicate with people that are on? How do two people communicate when they're on two different levels?
Right.
So that's
Right?
the motivation for go. Keep going.
No, no.
Real quickly,
Go ahead.
that is
Go
the
ahead.
motivation for the show.
Yes.
The topic of the show is not to have a conversation about Steve and Mo. It's how we now are able to engage, right?
On different levels.
Different levels, communicate. Because there's so much misunderstanding.
Yes.
There's so many friendships that come to an end.
Right.
There's so
Yes.
many
Oh, I
relationships
heard
that come
that.
to an end. There's so many things that go left, all
Yes.
because people are not trying to understand the level
Misunderstanding.
that people are on.
Right.
So we're not talking about Steve and Mo.
Let's get
We're
that
using
straight.
Steve and Mo to have a
As-
conversation about how the level that you're on sometimes is misconstrued,
Yes,
misinterpreted, misunderstood. You don't fully understand.
Right.
So you immediately take offense because that level does not resonate with where you
Right.
are.
How do you communicate when you're on a different level
There
and
we
the
go.
person's on a different level?
There we go.
That is the topic of
There we go.
conversation.
There we go.
Different levels and knowing how to engage, or should I even engage in that
There we go.
conversation?
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? And can we agree basically to disagree? And can I be my authentic self without having all these repercussions coming at me and throwing at me?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
There we go.
'Cause I was about to ask you, what you think, Treasure?
Does jealousy play a part in that? If I'm on a lower level, not so much a lower level,
A
but
different level.
I'm on a
You're doing
different level.
something.
I'm not where I'm not where I aspire to be, where you are,
Or where society says you should be?
right, or where society says I should be.
Well,
Does jealousy play a part?
in some of these conversations, I think that we gotta really define and reshape, or at least put in perspective, society.
Who's society?
There we go.
Who's your society?
Right, because
what's the society looking at? Oh, that's good.
There may be different societies, right?
There is different societies.
And I'm glad we understand that, right?
Yeah,
but when we use that term, we use it sometimes,
be part
with this
two.
understanding, or at least this understanding that it's a whole, and it's not. It's not a whole. It's divided.
It's different parts
broken.
to it.
It's separated. It's okay. Let's go historical. It's segregated.
segregated.
Not even historical.
No,
like
it
we're
is.
still not dealing with that modern day, but it's segregated. So when you say society, and is it jealousy in terms of the levels, not higher, lower, greater, better, lesser? No, just maybe that jealousy, if it is, or envy. Let's insert that as well. Could have everything to do with maybe the black hood,
Versus
unfortunate
what?
struggle,
The wealth, the middle class, and the wealth. Go ahead.
societies, right, that I'm still in, that I think that I'm doing a service to my community, my hood community,
Right.
my black community, my Latino community, my Asian community, right? My white community, whatever ethnic group that I'm from, right? I can think that I'm actually repping them by giving a voice to an issue that secretly I'm jealous
Listen,
of.
you know what? I thought about you, right? I thought about you. So you at one point in your life, you were incarcerated, right? You was in that drug game, or whatever the case is. You were incarcerated, right? So the thing is, now you have transformed because of the experiences that you had with God revealing himself to you while you were locked up, right? So you come out, right? You come out, and at the same time, you're transformed, you're different. Right. So now in that process of coming out, seeing a different world than what you walked, when you went into jail, now you're coming out different because you had an experience different. You're seeing a different world now. Right. So at the same time, you have transformed. You're not the same, but in your experiences now outside of prison, you're different. You're getting closer to God. So basically, are you doing a disservice, right? Because you're on a different level now. So are you giving back? Are you not giving back? But God, I lost my train of thought because I was on the way.
That's appropriate.
Because the thing is, now you're on a different level. Now you have transformed. So people gonna say about you, are you not true to the level or the society which they are accustomed to, because they used to seeing you a different way. So they expect you to be a certain way now because you have roles or you have transformed from that previous experience.
Yes.
You're no longer there, right? So you have different type of conversation now because you have transformed.
So let's give context to that, right?
Oh, I thought I gave context.
No, that's great, right? But but to your point, right? I want to give another example, right?
Right.
Not only coming from the life of hustling, right? That's saluted and celebrated in the hood, right? That's saluted. It's celebrated, right? You get a round of applause for murdering somebody more than you get. Right? It's true, right?
On point.
Right on point, right? You get a round of applause for laying somebody down, for robbing somebody, right? Doing some of this stuff in your own community. Then you get saluted and supported for graduating college. That's just unfortunately where we are, right? So when you start to transition from that, right? And then here's my example with this code, right, of not snitching. Not snitching, right? That's a code in the hood. You're not supposed to tell. I once subscribed to that. You ain't supposed to tell. But now, with this transformation, right? With this new level that God has grown me into, if you are if something is done to somebody's child is killed, raped, murdered, beat, whatever, somebody's being abused, beat, whatever the case may be, and somebody knows about that, I'm not saying, don't say nothing now. I'm going to say call the cops. Before, I was against it because I don't want police involved. But today, I will say call the cops. So the hood will say, oh, he's snitching. He told. No, but I got to give that.
I'm good. No,
but I have to give that for somebody who is probably listening or who will listen and say.
And I say, you know what? You're a sellout. You're a snitch.
Yeah.
Just like this, they'll say those things.
Yeah.
So we're talking about those conversations. now I gotta engage because I'm not on that level anymore.
There you go.
It's not that I judge that level that I came from. It's not that I bow, that I'm saying you're no good. I feel like you're not worthy. Now I'm on a different level, so my conversation changes. But at the same time, I'm in a position or need to talk to people in the same position so I can reach down and pick those people up to level up with me.
Those who want to be picked up.
Those who want to be picked up. Not everybody, but those who do want, we're going to speak to those who want to be picked up.
Right.
So those who want to be picked up and level up, then now I'm at a position, because Steve Harvey did say, right? He said, the poor can't help the poor. You know? Now I'm on a different level. Now I have the resources to help people who are in need. So I'm not going to sell them out. I'm not going to look down on you, but I'm going to go a different way and a different method. I'm not saying I disagree with what Monique is saying. I'm just talking about the Steve Harvey point of view, because they both have great
Points.
Platforms.
They have great points to this conversation. But what I'm saying is, now that I'm on a different level, I can do different things. I can talk to different people. I have the resource. I have a different type of resource than I did when I was on a different level. Yeah. So now I have the opportunity to pick somebody up so they can level up to where I am. So now the conversation changes, and I have to make sure I engage differently, because my ultimate goal, the vision that I see of helping my people, I got to talk this talk. I got to play this game, but I know I need to do this so I can bring my people up.
So maybe, to your question, is it an issue of jealousy because I have no vision? So I'm jealous of somebody who's in position. I judge the person who is not on my level no more, who I think now is an Uncle Tom, who's now cooning, but is in position to impact our people, right? But because I'm not on that level, I don't see it that way. So I'm jealous or I'm envious, and I'm not listening to the conversation to be transformed. I'm listening to be judgmental. Because I'm not on that level.
Know what, too?
So wait, that conversation now becomes a conversation that really exposes where you are, more than you saying Steve is wrong, Monique is right. Or Monique is right, or Monique is wrong, and Steve is right. No, Monique is where she is, and Steve is where he is. Where are you? Do you have a vision that will uplift you and your people, instead of you taking a side because you don't agree with them because you're not on that level? So you envy it. You're quick to just be so quick to be judgmental, fault finding, because of the level that you're unhappy on. You're unhappy on your level, and you don't have maybe a vision. And we're not condemning you for not having it. What we're doing is having a conversation to say, well, maybe that's why I disagree with them. I don't really disagree with them. I really don't, because prior to the conversation, I watched the Steve Harvey show every morning. Prior to the conversation, Monique, I laughed at all her shows. So you didn't have no issue with either of them, but the conversation triggered something in you that's really revealing the fact that you don't have vision. You're envious that you don't have the resources that they have. Go ahead, Whit.
No. So I want to play double dutch. I know I want to jump in, but you know what? The thing is that, because you know why I might be jealous? Because we started off on the same level.
There we go. Ooh. We come from the same place.
We come from the same place. We both started here.
You black like me.
You black like me. You didn't start your career.
Same struggles as me.
Yeah, same struggles. Yeah. And at the same time is that you didn't get your career popping until your late 30s, your early 40s. So we both started at the same level.
Right.
So the jealousy might come in is that we started here. Now you on a different level than I am, and at the same time is that because I'm experiencing some pushback, I'm experiencing some things that some discomfort, that you should know my struggle, because we started on the same level. So you should be able to identify where we started. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I'm going through, when I'm climbing those levels, is similar to what we have experienced on the same level. You should be having my back, because you know where we started from.
but I don't have your back because
Yeah.
I know what you struggle with.
Right, so
and you don't deserve
Okay.
to be on those levels. Go.
No, and at the same time is that there might be some jealousy because I'm not comfortable of you not understanding or seeing it from my point of view. You should know where I'm coming from because we started where we started. We had the same similarities. We had the same struggles. You know how it is to be black in America, especially I'm a woman, Steve. So at the same time, and you're a man, so you have a little bit more clout than I do, but at the same time, you know the struggle of a black person. So that every time I'm at this level right now, I need your help, but you're going to say that, you know, I'm doing it differently. The thing is that my whole thing with the conversation is that I might be a little bit jealous. People might, not saying Mo is jealous of Steve, but we're talking about jealousy at times because we always look at from where we started from, right? Because we feel like we started on the same level, and we might have, but I have made choices that led me to a different level. You made choices that made you to a different level too. So I'm going to make it this. I'm going to use my choices, my options, and make different decisions than you do. Don't be mad at me if I choose this and it puts me in on a different level. And I'm not going to be mad at you. But don't be mad at me if I choose to go this way because you didn't choose to go that way. I'm just doing things differently, but I understand where you're coming from. I understand your pain. I understand the perspective because we did start from the same level, but I'm just doing it differently. I have a different way of doing things to get to the ultimate goal.
What you think, Treasure?
But why is she being blackballed though? She's been blackballed because of her views.
Well, if we was to be in my opinion, right? Not that this is the universal perspective, right? But I think that she's being whiteballed. She's not being blackballed.
That's true.
Now she's being blackballed by her own people who may not be supportive of what she has contributed.
Right.
But if she's being whiteballed, because if they have the resources to stop what she's trying to push, her visions, then it's not us that's doing it. That's a term that we've been conditioned to use. So I don't think that she's being blackballed. I think that she's being whiteballed. And I think that when you take a stance, not necessarily agreeing, but understanding her position, when you take a stance that goes against that hierarchy, that system, that structure, you will be, it will be a narrative created about you that will cause things to be taken away from you.
You know what? It's so crazy. This might be off topic. No, actually, it's not off topic, but it's kind of similar to the struggle. I watched the Killer Mike. Killer Mike. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. Familiar with Killer Mike, right?
I didn't watch it yet, though.
Oh gosh, I'm not gonna. Gosh,
It's
I want
powerful.
to talk about it. It's powerful. It was just the first
We got to do a part 2 of this.
Yeah, it's a documentary series that he has. But he started off with basically trying to live black. It ain't easy trying to live black.
No.
For real. Living black because it's so
In
many
America,
of us
be clear.
Oh yeah, living black in America. It's not easy. And he went through some struggles. But he stayed the course of really trying to fulfill this 3-day vision that he had. And I said that to say is because us talking about, I think the question that you raised, Treasure, is that being blackballed, and you said she's being whiteballed. Technically, she's being whiteballed, and I use Killer Mike thing as just some context or analogy to this is because, unfortunately, society has been trained and has been manipulated by the ideals of,
The powers that be.
The powers
There
that
we go.
be. There we go.
The powers that be. I got you back.
Because
Don't
I
worry
was
about it.
about
I
to
got
say
you back.
something
That's a
else,
great
right? The powers that be.
terminology.
I was about to say something else. The powers
Right.
that be. You know what I'm saying? The powers that control. And it's unfortunate.
And I'm sorry, but I got to do this. That's a great example of Steve and Mo. What we just did, right?
Ooh.
So Mo wanted to. Mo said what you was about to say.
I know.
Right.
Here comes Steve.
good.
Here comes Steve. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a second. The powers that be, the system that plays a big role. So I know where you was going.
I thought about the P. No, that's
Can I jump in?
Go.
Can I jump in?
Can I jump in?
That's because you guys have connection.
Right. And maybe
You had her back.
Exactly.
No, and at the same time, let me tell you, I know I'm gonna tell you the reason why it took me a long time for he had to jump in, because I was gonna probably say something that might have offended the people that who are not my color, that I'm real cool with.
That's exactly why I said it.
That has my back, but doing different things for me because of connection, right? Because I can't put all of them in one category. You know what I'm saying? I can't, because I have relationship, right?
Can't.
So I'm mindful of the language I'm using, just like Steve was mindful of the language. But at the same time, my goal is for my people.
Right.
I'm just working it differently.
Right.
And sometimes you got to be smarter. You got
and to
strategic.
To Steve's point, that's what I believe he was trying to communicate. Was there's different ways to win the war.
I agree with that.
You can communicate how you feel. You can still keep your integrity. Mm-hmm. It could be intact. And you can still fulfill the visions that you have. But you can do it in wisdom, in excellence.
In clarity.
You can do it that way. You know, like the hood gonna say, yo, she kept it real. And then you right back in the projects with the hood.
Doing the same thing.
And the people that you was feeding, the staff that you had, the families that you was responsible for, now they got to go try to figure it out. But before all of that, you had a staff of maybe 150 people, 200 people. You had families that you was responsible for who believed in your vision. And now you talking about not that you're wrong, but this is perspective that I don't think that people consider. That if you're willing to blow it at the expense of everybody else who believed, at the expense of people who upped and relocated, who changed their families, took their kids. People got medical issues. Kids got challenged. People lost loved ones. You have to factor all of this in when you start talking about being a leader. You can't, that's how I felt. It ain't about you at that point. And that's where I agree with Steve.
Me too.
I don't see him as a coon or this. It's another way you could have went about it.
Right.
That's all. It's another way you could have went about it. Because he, and like her, I'm pretty sure, and I'll say this because I'm not being critical or insensitive, I'm pretty sure they had white employees, they had Asian employees, black employees. They had a well-diverse staff of people that they was responsible for.
You know what? Look at Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They both had different views on how to fight this fight, right?
Yeah.
But it was a common goal for, black people to get their fair share. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X said, you know what? By any means freaking necessary. That's what we're going to do. If I got to take out my gun, and whatever the case is, I'm going to do it. Martin Luther King, nonviolence. But they had a common goal. They just went about things differently. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. Because we all... because we're different. We're different, and God puts different things into us.
Here's wisdom as we come to a close of the show. We got to do a part 2 of this. Here's wisdom as we come to a close of this show. Right? Here's wisdom as we come to a close. We who fight for our people, who take stance for our people, we get killed. We die. When they take stance for their people, they implement systems that even if they die, their people are still taken care of.
Legacy and generations.
That's what I'm saying.
Flourish.
Wisdom now starts to teach you. Where's the system? And that's to Steve's point. Where's the system that you implement that even if they do kill me, my son, your son, daughter, we still good because we got a system. Eat. So you don't no, you in your feelings.
Because that stuff don't work.
No,
we have done that for years. We get mad, we want to, blast off and tell us how they really feel, and we want to buck up. But that does not work.
Where's the
not in America.
It's
not going to work, and it's never going to work.
Where's the system? That's all. So
Okay, we're close.
This is part
We're doing
one.
part 2 next
This
week.
is part 1 of this show, man.
What's the name of this?
Understanding the levels, man.
Oh,
Understand
how to engage in different levels.
There you go. And applying. We just making up stuff, but it's all right. Understanding the levels and applying wisdom.
Yes.
Applying wisdom on your level to bring your people up. There it is, Whit.
Yes.
Applying wisdom on your level to bring your people up.
And no level is greater than the other.
There we go.
Right.
There
Okay.
we go. Don't be so quick to judge or find
Don't
fault
judge. Stop judging.
with the people who are trying. With the people who are trying.
Yes.
Especially, and I got to say it this way. God forgive me. Especially if you're black ass, white ass, Spanish ass, Mexican ass, whatever ass you is. If your ass ain't doing nothing, there we go. There we go. Drop the bomb.
That's the music from the Grammys. You know how they on the Grammys, they start talking and the music comes.
There we go.
You know it's their time to end. So go ahead, Dwayne, prayers out.
There we go. God, we thank you for another opportunity to have a great conversation, God. We thank you so much for this platform. And we ask that you bless us all with wisdom, God. Many of us are just in our feelings and just frustrated and aggravated about the times that we in. Because, God, it's rough. It's hard, man. And people are just really participating in evil and the demonics. And people don't care who dies, who, they don't care because they don't believe. But God, today we stand in the gap interceding for those who are on the front line, those who are fighting, God, on behalf of those who don't have to fight no more. So we ask that you give them strength and wisdom and give them strategy to execute, Father, to let your will and your plan go forth, Father God, that the enemy doesn't continue to get victory. We come from you at the end of the day. All of us come from you, Father. So change hearts, renew minds, heal hearts, Father God. And everybody who doesn't want their heart healed and their minds renewed, then remove them, God, however you need to remove them. Because we only want to be on your side. That's our prayer. So we ask you to give us wisdom. We ask you to give us what you know we need so we can come back for part 2 and just continue to inspire and uplift your people, even if those who don't agree with what we're talking about because they don't understand the level that you go us to. We ask that you grow them to this level so that they can understand that they got somebody following them. They got a son. They got a daughter. They got somebody who's looking up to them, Father, that they understand that they can't stay the same. So that's our prayer on tonight. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So part 2, we coming back in the building.
Call in tomorrow, day 15 for our favor month
of favor,
Peace out.
Month of favor.
Thank you, Trey Panage.
Yes.